I don't understand as a parent. I am too distractible to do one thing at a time. I can't spill all my focus just in one area. But the problem then is that I'm so highly aware that I'm not spending the time with my kids that I know I'm never, ever, ever gonna get back.
That was a clip from Dr. Sasha Hamdani, TikTok's first-hand doc, if you will, on ADHD. And also joining our conversation is another doctor who's had an experience like no other. Dr. Loucresi Rupert was diagnosed while she was in residency, University of South Alabama, just 26 years old. And she says she realized that the medication her doctor prescribed her wasn't working and had to find other ways to manage it. Please welcome her to the conversation. Her popular blog is Under One Umbrella. Dr. Rupert, thank you for joining the conversation as well. Dr. Sasha, let me start off. What was happening in that moment?
So I think what I was dealing with, most of my TikTok videos are filmed like right off the cuff. And I think in that moment, I was dealing with a lot of guilt and a lot of shame.
What was the guilt?
Sometimes with my ADHD, I feel like it's hard to manage multiple different brains at once. So when I'm struggling, I'm very, very hyper aware. I need to be there for my kids. And so I have to kind of learn how to manage my things. And when I don't feel like I'm doing as well as I should be, I feel like that starts to bleed into how I feel I'm doing as a parent.
Dr. Rupert, you have your blog, Under One Umbrella. You actually have a picture of you as Wonder Woman as a kid.
I'm a physician. I'm like 30 in that picture.
You're 30 in that picture? I thought you were a teenager in that picture. There you are.
Physician.
So ADHD as a Wonder Woman dressed physician seems to me to process as a superpower. How do you process this conversation?
Well, it's kind of twofold. I think ADHD can be a superpower. I think.
Why do you think it can be?
Well, we think outside of the box. We're the inventors. Like, society would not be where it is without people that were neurodiverse. It just wouldn't be. But I also want to make sure, like, when we're coming from a strength-based place, which we should build up people's strengths, but we don't want to minimize the struggles, because there are struggles with having ADHD too. So you just want to make sure that you're balancing, that you're building up your strengths, but not minimizing the struggles.
What was your biggest struggle?
My biggest struggle was actually when I went to medical school. So, kind of the way the amount of information you get in medical school is maybe like a whole year worth of college in like a month. And so the way I studied was making note cards, where you just can't make note cards for like thousands of pages. I tried, it's not so that like built-in coping skill that I had, because I was not officially diagnosed at this time, was no longer effective. So I was reading, I was kind of like she said earlier, spending way more time studying than other people and making, I mean, I was passing, but not doing as well as I...
You weren't thriving?
Yeah, I was not thriving. So I actually went to try to get diagnosed, and I initially went to an older white psychologist who said I didn't have ADHD, but didn't tell me anything else. So I got my records, and in his records, he put that I had narcissistic personality disorder because I thought I could do great things like go to medical school. I was actively in medical school and passing.
I have two questions. Are either of you on medication to manage right now? No.
I am not, but the reason I'm not, once I was officially diagnosed again, I tried again a couple of years on. I was officially diagnosed in my intern year of psychiatry residency. And I took medicines for a while, and it was very helpful, very helpful. But a low population of people, and unfortunately I'm in that population, medicines actually make you more tired. And so it kind of made me more tired. I already have chronic fatigue, that was the whole thing. So I chose not to take medications because of that, but there are non-stimulant medications, and of course there's like skill building that I use to try to manage it.
And that's the new component of this, a lot of the skill building. We're not saying for some people medication is not the answer, but in addition to that, it seems the advancement is in the space of skill building to handle this. When we talk about this conversation and the shame of it, Do you feel that society has moved forward, or are we still in that label spot?
I think I would agree. I think we are still very stigmatized as a society.
Yeah.
And I think it really also, it's different in different populations. There's some populations where this is overdiagnosed, and there's some populations where it's very severely underdiagnosed. And I think women, and especially women of color, aren't getting this diagnosis.
Thank you both for being here, for your candor and what you do. I want to point out to our audience, you are all going home with Dr. Sasha's book, Self-Care for People with ADHD. You can follow both of them, the social medias, right there on your screen. Next up, ABC News anchor Diane Macedo on her ADHD journey after the break.